In Ghana, dadesen, a widely used type of aluminum cookware found in millions of homes, is under new scrutiny after laboratory tests detected high levels of lead contamination. Health officials say that the contamination comes from the way these pots are produced, warning that long-term exposure could pose serious health risk, especially for children. It's early afternoon, and the heat in Patrick Opon's workshop is intense. He has already shaped more than 20 pots used to cook popular Ghanaian dishes like banku and tozafi. The metal comes from the sprawling scrapyards around the market. Old engine parts, worn-out radiators, flattened cans, and sometimes discarded batteries. All of it gets melted together to produce new pots.
I've been doing this job for over 20 years. We buy these materials from scrap dealers, about 20 to 30 cedis per pound. We bring them here, melt them under high heat, and mix them with other materials.
But environmental health experts warn that this process can introduce toxic metals, especially lead, into the cookware. In October 2025, Ghana's Food and Drugs Authority called for a ban on locally molded dadesen after tests showed dangerously high lead levels. Officials say contamination likely occurs when scrap metals are melted and blended together. Patrick, however, insists his pots are safe.
People say there's lead, but I don't believe it. We don't have proof that there's no lead, but I can assure you that ours does not contain lead.
Patrick's skepticism reflects a broader challenge. For many Guineans, these pots have been used for generations without any visible signs of harm. 50-year-old Angela Nwaduji has cooked with these aluminum pots for more than 30 years. For her, the idea that a familiar tool could be unsafe is difficult to accept.
I'm able to distinguish between the good and the bad ones on the market. But I've heard that some use items like car batteries to produce a lot of dadesen we have on the market.
To see how others feel, the news team spoke with several Accra residents.
We have been using this for generations, and they were even more fit than we are now. My grandma uses this same dadesen to cook for us, yet she's so strong. She's never even been to the hospital. So what is the FDA saying?
Back then, when someone passes away, they are usually really old. But now, see the younger ones dying. It's all because of these things, so I support the call for a ban.
We all eat from this pot. Even the very people who conducted this study use it in their homes. They should stop deceiving us. According to them, everything causes cancer these days. Ignore them.
If they are saying a lot of the pot contains lead, what should we use now?
To understand how lead can migrate from metal cookware into food and eventually into the human body, we spoke with environmental health specialist Dr. Esmond Kwanta. He works with Pure Earth, a non-profit focused on reducing heavy metal exposure worldwide.
When you cook in this cookware for a long time and it desurfaces or it defaces, where are this remnant of lead going? There's something we call bioaccumulation. So if you keep taking little doses, of lead, you keep ingesting little doses of lead into your system, it accumulates and over the period can impact your health adversely.
Dr. Kwanta says lead exposure can permanently damage brain development in children and may cause anemia, kidney problems, high blood pressure, and other serious health issues. According to the World Health Organization, lead exposure contributes to over 1.5 million deaths annually and millions of years of disability. Lead contamination in cookware is not unique to Ghana. Similar cases have been documented across West Africa, South Asia, and Latin America. Experts say the problem often stems from informal scrap recycling, inconsistent heating, and lack of manufacturing standards. Here in places like Agbebloshi, scrap metal from old electronics and car parts is melted down and reshaped into cookware like this, a process that unknowingly brings some harmful metals from the dump site straight to your dining tables. But the question now is, who is protecting the consumers, and how can we make these pots safer without destroying the livelihoods of those who make them? Pure Earth says it is now collaborating with government agencies to conduct tracer studies across the Greater Accra and the northern regions. Dr. Esmond Kwanzaa says the goal is to determine how widespread lead exposure from cookware may be.
There's also a second phase of the project, which will include certification of all cookware manufacturers. Most of these manufacturers do not even know the hazards that we're talking about when we're talking about using lead or using raw materials that are lead contaminated. So Pure, for example, has been undertaking, we've been exchanging cookwares for some of our beneficiaries. Okay, how do we do that? We have to use an XRF to go to these artisans, identify the raw materials, use the XRF to measure their raw materials, and then those that have lower lead concentrations, they use them to manufacture the cookwares for us. When they are done, they are lead free.
For consumers, identifying contaminated cookware on their own is nearly impossible. Lead has no taste, no smell, and no visible color. Testing requires specialized tools, typically an XRF analyzer, which can detect heavy metals in seconds, but is very expensive and not widely available. Ghana's Standards Authority says it is developing new manufacturing guidelines and a certification program to help people identify safe cookware.
It will contain a number of issues, notably the levels of lead in the dadesen, what should be the requirement in it, what should be the maximum levels. These are some of the issues. What materials should be involved in it? How should it be designed? And in developing this standard, the Ghana Standards Authority, we invited a number of people, the business operators, people in academia, and also many other stakeholders. They came together and they developed the standards. This dadesen standard. By next week, the dadesen standards will go for general public comments.
But as regulators refine these standards, many families continue to rely on these pots every day, often unaware of the potential risk simmering inside them. Researchers and health officials hope producers and policymakers can find an urgent solution that protects public safety without erasing a long-standing part of Ghanaian cooking culture. Reporting for GH1 News, I am Nadima Umar Uthman.